Mars, the little infected blue planet. What is this about?
Chapter 4. The heavens considered Earth as lesser than and inferior to what it was originally meant to be. But the earthlings knew it not. They were accustomed to the taint and blind to the infected conditions within which they lived.
What? Okay, let me go back to the beginning.
Chapter 1. And there was a rift in heaven, beyond time and preceding the time, when mankind was placed upon the earth. For a great uprising had been crushed, and the rebels and the chief insurrectionists were cast down from heaven as suddenly and decisively and forcefully as a strike of lightning. For the leader of the rebels used sweet and deceptive words to twist the hearts and minds of many families within the heavenly host. His own heart was full of jealousy and envy, and rather than accept the coveted role he was given, he hated it and sought to usurp the king. Therefore, in his folly, he and those with him were expelled, cast down from heaven. Their failed insurrection, however, had divided the heavens, bringing sadness and sorrow to the fifth heaven, the domain of the Creator, the King Father and his Son. Yet it was the King Father who comforted the heavens, and all the great peoples and intelligent speaking beasts from planets from across many universes. He gave them comfort and assurance of peace beyond the insurrection, to the angels and the beings of every make that fell not to the seducing words of the chief insurrectionist, the evil usurper. And it was so, with the passage of time, that the host of heaven moved on beyond the rift, and was healed of their grief and loss. It was then that the King Father decided to create something special, something more special than the angels and other beings that moved within all he created and ruled. For everything the King Father made was perfect and pure. And it was so when he made a most precious little blue planet. For it was a place that, through the passage of time, had become pristine and unique, hidden on a lower dimension, tucked away back on the backside of a far galaxy, tucked away out of sight and out of mind for a period of time. Deliberately terraformed for a specific purpose. Pure, fresh, inviting, and beautiful to behold, it was Earth. Having healed the nations and the peoples of heaven, the King Father decided the time was right to make a special being that would fill a void in his own heart. A void left when he expelled the rebels. Thousands stood at his side, and hundreds of thousands stood in awe as the Father of Life said the words that would forever change the multiverse. Come, let us make man, and let us make them in our own image and likeness. And so he made the man. He made the man from the earth itself, true and pure. And the Father loved the man that he made from the dirt of earth, the human. And he gave the man the earth as his domain, and put everything on earth under the man's feet. And the angels sang of the glory of God, for all that he made was good and beautiful. And all of heaven rejoiced and gave glory to the King Father, all but the rebels. And the evildoer, the chief insurrectionist, beheld the man from afar and hated him. Oh, how he hated the man. How he hated him because man was made in the image of the Father, and because he was so similar to and like the Father. Therefore, the evil despised the man deeply. Yet in the presence of the heavenly host, the evil applauded and shouted and played along. The King Father, however, knew the hearts of those who loved the man and those who did not. And when the other sons of God cautioned the king's son, telling him of the lies and deceitful words of those who did not truly admire the made man, the king's son spoke slightly above a whisper, telling them, "Suffer it to be so now, for the Father knows." Then the Creator made a mate and a companion for the man. Male and female made he them. And the two dwelt in harmony and peace in a beautiful garden, a paradise on the earth.
Okay, I know where this is going. And they lived happily ever after.
Chapter 2. But the evil despised the human beings that the Father made from the soils of the earth. He watched the pair closely, trying to figure out why the King Father made mankind but gave them such little power. He especially hated to hear how men reasoned and could create expressions and think uniquely. But most of all, he hated to hear man praise and adore the Father. And he hated how the Father loved to hear the praise from the hearts and lips of this simple man and the woman. It was this jealousy that drove the evil to devise a plan to corrupt the man and the woman and to steal everything from them.
I will rule over their simple little hearts and not the King Father. I will be like a god to man and all mankind. I will corrupt their imaginations and take all authority that man has on the blue planet. I will show man the gold and all the riches of the earth. And as he looked at earth's treasures and craved for more, I will cause them to hate each other, to steal from each other, to kill each other, to rape and war against each other. Then they will forget all about praising God. The Father shouldn't have left these little sheep so unprotected. I'll show him.
And it was so. Even the little power and authority man had was usurped and taken by the evil. He did it through trickery. Evil twisted and beguiled the humans, tempting them with half-truths and soothing lies. And thus, the man and woman, mankind, strayed from the loving relationship with the Father into the vile hands of the chief insurrectionist and usurper. And when the King Father next spoke with the man and his woman, he saw the fingerprints of the evil and how it had corrupted the pair. And because of their disobedience, the King Father expelled them both from the beautiful garden, but he left them on the earth, which now, for the first time, had evil as its Lord.
But this is getting deep.
Chapter 3. And so began the reign of evil, death, and destruction on the earth. With the passage of time, man began to multiply upon the face of the earth. And although the Father loved the man and woman and all mankind, it grieved the Father, for men's thoughts were constantly evil. Men seemed to prefer the evil rather than the good, and as men spread across the earth, so did the power and influence of the evil. The earth groaned from carrying the weight of sin and the permeating presence of the evil. Soon the whole earth became infected with the taint, the stench of sin. So foul was its smell that it could be smelt from the bottomless pit of hell to the outer gates of the fifth heaven. Greed, pure selfish greed, covetousness and hate and envy and jealousy and murder with trickery, lies, blasphemy and deceit filled the hearts of mankind. And like the evil, the father of lies, men bore the fruit of evil and sought to kill, steal, and destroy his neighbor. There were wars and genocide and racial hatred. The rich exploited the poor. Others stuffed themselves, while others, even babies, died from hunger. There was pollution and contamination of the earth itself, and that led to more disease and more suffering. And when the sons of God would gather before the King Father to discuss the matters of state and the business of the kingdom, they would also talk among themselves about how corrupt the earth had become.
Whatever you do, don't go to the little blue planet.
I know that's right. It's infected.
Yeah. Anyone that goes there without being sent by the Father will get it. Sin is highly contagious.
It was once such a lovely place, but now evil permeates every corner.
Oh, those poor little earth creatures. They are so used to it that they have no clue how corrupted that place have become, and how repulsive earth is because of the presence of evil.
So true. Those poor humans. The stench of sin is in their skin, in their food, and even in the air they breathe.
Amen to that, sister. Everyone knows that sin exists in the universe, but what humans don't know is that sin is not everywhere in the universe. And that is why other beings stay away from the contamination.
And when the evil walked among the sons of God and would hear the chatter, he would always claim to have had clean hands.
If you want to know the truth, it was the Father that cursed the planet when he kicked man out of the garden. So don't be trying to blame me for anything.
This was a reference to Genesis 3:17. The other angels and beings would not argue the point, however. Finally, after a moment of awkward silence, one angel said to the others,
Hey, have you heard the saying about the shepherd rejoicing over finding the one lost sheep?
No, I don't think I've heard that joke.
Oh, I have, and I'm not so sure it's a joke.
Yeah, I think it's real. I mean, it's not a joke. So what had happened was, the shepherd leaves the 99 sheep to go find the lost one. I mean, what if the humans are the one?
I think they are, but they just don't know it. They think everything is fine because it's all they know.
Okay, hold on a moment. I'm sorry. I just don't follow you here. What don't they know?
The impact of evil and what that means to the earth. Take, for example, the bottom of the lake. The bottom of the lake is always the dirtiest place with decaying and dead things. Yet when a catfish, a bottom dweller, finds a meal there, he rejoices and thinks that it's the best thing there is.
Right. And because all the catfish sees is the bottom of the lake, he is clueless to the fact that his meal is repulsive, decaying garbage.
I hadn't thought about that.
Right. So everything on earth is less pure by the taint of evil.
It's sad, but true. So humans living today have yet to breathe air without the presence of sin. They have yet to feel the warmth of the sun without a shade of evil.
Oh, I get it. It's like they have yet to live in an environment that has no evil in it.
You got it. I mean, they don't know what it's like to live on a planet that literally heals itself, and where there is no pollution, no smog, and no allergies, and no sin or presence of evil. They don't even know what that means and how it would feel to their bodies.
Right. Sadly, they think this is how it's supposed to be. And that's because this is all they've ever known. This is all they've ever known.
But the truth is, their situation is far from the truth. The truth is, other beings on other planets are not subject to evil or the presence of sin.
So true. And the truth is, I think they are the one.
Well, don't let evil know. He'll get all jealous and everything. And you know he is a bit twisted when it comes to humans.
Anyway, it's like I said, unless the King Father sends you, the blue planet is forbidden. Just turn and go the other way.
This is good. This is good.
Chapter 4. The heavens considered earth as lesser than and inferior to what it was originally meant to be. But the earthlings knew it not. They were accustomed to the taint and blind to the infected conditions within which they lived. For mankind had short and temporary lives, and the infestation of earth occurred long ago. So how could mortal man know? The Father, however, never stopped loving the man he made, or the children of the man he made. Instead of anger, his heart was filled with kindness and compassion for the one, the lost one, the earth, and the ones he made in his own image and uniquely in his likeness. To look upon man, even in his polluted and corrupt state, was like seeing a little reflection of himself. And he loved them. He still loved them. He loved them rich and poor equally. He loved them, the weak and the strong and the good, the faithful and the unfaithful, and the bad. He loved them, the righteous and the unrighteous. He loved them. Oh, how he loved the humans on the little blue planet. Even in their corrupt state, he loved them. He looked at them not with judgment in his eyes, but with eyes so full of love that he sent his son, the king's son, to save them. You see, the King Father had a plan, and he had it long before he made the universe, the earth, the man, and even before the insurrection. For in due season, the Father would execute his plan, and not even the evil could stop it. In fact, the evil was part of the plan, although he himself did not know it. From the moment pride was first found in his boastful, prideful heart, the King Father had a plan to deal with it. Chapter 5.
Okay, wait, what happens? Wait, now how does this end? Let me take a look at the end of the book.
Gotta know. Chapter 21. There is a time and a season for everything under the sun. And so shall it be at the end of time. For I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, gone from existence forever. And on this new earth there was no sin, no evil or presence of evil. But it was beautiful to behold, sweet, pure, pristine, with crystal clear rivers and mountains and valleys, plush green and plush multicolored valleys. And on this new earth there was no more sea. And I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared and adorned beautifully, as if a bride all dressed up and jeweled up for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. And there shall be no more death, no more sorrow, no more evil, no more crying, no more pain. For the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And then he said, It is done. It is finished.
What? I'm going to have to tell everybody about this.